And we are live. Hello, everybody. Teching 101 here, coming to you from the Teching 101 studio located in fabulous Teching's house. Some random point in Pennsylvania. This is June 29th, 2025, 4:02 p.m. Today, we are going to be discussing Chapter 1153 of One Piece, titled The Birth of Loki. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Man, in another life, I might have been born as a, like an announcer guy. Like, hello there, I'm Radio Guy from the 1930s. How you doing? Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes, surprise teching live stream. Well, I usually do try to do the chapter breakdowns on Sundays. This one's a little bit later in the day. I had to get some other stuff done earlier. You need a haircut. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm going to get a haircut soon. But for right now, this is where we're at. This is what we're working with, so... it also doesn't help. I was at a water park earlier today. So, I was at a water park and I came back and I'm like, yeah, well, just whatever. We're just going to do this. I don't know if you guys know this, but like, my channel isn't well known for being like a hairstylist. You know what I mean? Like, oh yes, Teching 101, always trying out the fabulous hairstyles of the day. Do I miss my old studio? Not really, because the place where, well, when I was living with my mom, there were two rooms in the house that I would film videos in. One was my bedroom, which I miss my old bedroom every now and then. It's like the room I grew up in and everything like that. I was back at my mom's house. Like like my mom and her boyfriend, like, painted that room completely. It's like a different, like, it's not even like my bedroom when I was growing up. So that's like a little sad. But when it comes to my old studio, I don't miss that room at all because it was very, very small and there was no insulation. So in the summer, it was very, very hot. I cannot tell you how many times I was filming a video in there in the summer, like a Bleach review or a One Piece review, wearing a suit and tie and the jacket, and almost passed out from heat exhaustion. It was not fun. And in the winter sucked too, but like I could just put a heater in there and like heat up the room a little bit before I would go and film. Like I've done that a few times, and then in that case, the suit actually kept me a little warm. But like, yeah, the summer was absolutely like brutal in that room, so I have no fond memories of that, really. Okay, you should vlog more. Maybe I will. Okay, so chapter 1153, the birth of Loki. Not as much stuff I think happened compared to the last. Oh, we already got our first super chat. Elbath! So hyped for Loki's cursed backstory. Now we see why he's blindfolded. The devil's eyes. Well, thank you, Auda. I'll just say that. Thank you for the 50 doll hairs. Yeah, it turns out Loki's sad crybaby backstory is also a sad crybaby backstory. I was saying that as like, so the source of that reference was, if you've ever watched Rick and Morty, and I'm not going to spoil Rick and Morty, like exactly what it is, but at one point you actually do learn Rick's backstory. I'm not going to spoil what it is if you haven't gotten to that point in the show, but Rick kind of calls it like, here, Morty, you want to see my sad crybaby backstory? Here you go. And it's like, that's where I kind of started calling Loki's that. And it's so funny that actually kind of ended up being a thing. Yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Thanks for that. How did Bellamy's bounty raise if he worked for a warlord? Would it not get frozen? Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call possibly a plot hole. It's just like, I don't know, like Oda is not like a perfect writer. Like sometimes he makes mistakes. I'm sure that sometimes people will look at the story and be like, hey, Oda, this doesn't make any sense. Like there was a scene back at Alabasta when Mr. 3 is defeated by Crocodile and he's floating on top of the water. And a lot of people pointed out, like, he's a devil fruit user. How is he floating on the water? And Oda had to sort of come up with like I mean, like, the way Oda said this was like, yeah, you caught me, sorry, like, it was an accident, I didn't know that it was, like, yeah, I messed up with the drawing, but he had to create this whole new substance of, like, oh, yeah, there was actually a piece of really buoyant wood that he landed on, which Oda ended up making canon when the Straw Hats were going from Fishman Island up to the surface. They used that wood to float the Sunny all the way up. Like, that's an actual thing that's included in the story now that came about because of Oda making a mistake, right? So, yeah, I mean, there you go. Loki's eye color is going to look so cool. Yeah, so what are we thinking on that? I'm thinking, like, straight up hollow eyes, like from Bleach. Like, the first thing I saw when I saw the, so what part of the eye is the white part of the eye? And then, like, the pupil is like, okay, so there's 3 parts of the eye, right? There's the white part, then there's the iris, I think, like the part that's actually, like, my eyes are brown, but then the pupils are, like, the part that contract and expand, right? That's, like, you have, I think everybody has black pupils, and then the iris is a different color depending on who you are, and your, like, genetics and stuff like that, and then there's the white portion of your eye, right? Yeah, the sclera. How do you pronounce that word? Sclera? I don't know. I didn't know how to pronounce that. Like sclera? Yeah. But the first thing I thought of, when I saw Loki's eyes was, I immediately went to Hollow Ichigo. I immediately went to, like, Hollow Ichigo eyes. So I'm thinking yellow. I'm going to go with yellow eyes. It's, like, very powerful. Loki is secretly a Hollow. Yeah. The white part is the sclera, Skyla. From the Odyssey. He's got Sith eyes. All right, so that's, yeah. You pronounce sclera right. It's sclera? All right, I'll just keep saying that. That person said I pronounced it right, so let's go with sclera. Okay. Yes, we're going to talk about the horse. Yeah, the horse is Sleipnir. It's not Loki's horse. Well, in Norse mythology, the horse is Loki's child. Right? I missed that in the review. I was like, I remember even, like, reviewing it, and I'm like, I think there is something about an 8-legged horse in Norse mythology, but I didn't really, like, look into it too much. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something, but, like, see, it seems like that I don't know. It's like my bias is showing through where I'm like, yeah, there's a horse, and we know the horse was mentioned earlier. The horse dies. There's probably going to be a scene where the horse dies, but I just kind of register that in my brain as, like, the horse is not important. It's not a big deal. The horse exists. It's going to die. Loki's going to be blamed on it, and that's all there is. Now, I freely admit that's just me being like, oh, that's my own bias. The horse might be relevant. The horse might be extraordinarily relevant to the manga. I'm just like reading, like, oh yeah, he gets gifted a horse. It's going to die. Loki gets blamed. Yeah, there you go. That's the relevance of the horse, right? But maybe I could be wrong on that. We'll have to see. Everything is a big deal in One Piece. Gaimon's gonna be a huge deal in One Piece. Yeah. Yes, everything is a big deal. Arthur's talking about the 8-legged horse in his review from today. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, it's a total, like, personal thing where I'm just reading the chapter and I am compartmentalizing things in my own, like, mind of, like, that is relevant, that's probably not relevant. And that's happened before where I'm like, oh yeah, that's not relevant. And then 300 chapters later, it's like, holy shit, it was relevant the whole time. I just realized, why do I have my fucking headphones on? There's no... You guys can't talk to me. Why did I just... Like, that's like reflex when I do Yu-Gi-Oh! With Briggs. It's like, oh, time to stream, time to put my headphones on. What the fuck do I have headphones on? Okay. Just like, yeah. What? What? I can't hear you, guys. Guys, speak up. I can't hear you. What? Loki is jealous of Hyruden for being accepted, and Hyruden is jealous of Loki for being strong. They both need to stop being babies and work together. Yes, I think they do. I think at this point, I'm not saying Hyruden's fears for releasing Loki are not valid, because Hyruden was afraid of freeing Loki and then Loki siding with the world government, and then they're having 2 people to contend with. But, like... Yeah, I think Hyruden at this point could have, like, at least, I mean, like, on both sides. Like, Loki was just, like Loki could have explained this to Hyruden earlier, and it's just like, Loki, explain yourself, and he's like, screw you, I'm not explaining shit, and it's like, they're both being a little bit childish about this. He could have just said, the guard stabbed Dad. I wasn't there, or this is what happened, And it seems like Loki didn't try to explain himself at all. It seems like, he just accepted the fact that he was hated because he was always kind of hated, and he just, like, jumped away. And he's, after the whole incident at the castle, if he was blamed for it, he just ran away instead of trying to convince other people. Because maybe Loki realized, like, what's the point? What's the point of trying to convince him? So it's not going to change anything. So he just left, right? He fled the country. I'm researching nuclear alternatives. I've had great success. Did you, Gnome saying, did you invent a mother flame? Teching, I just went boom, boom. Like, all right, well, buy a bidet. Purchase a bidet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your weekly reminder to purchase a bidet. They're a fantastic invention. After you purchase a bidet, your life will begin anew. There we go. We'll just start with that. Yeah, the good old convenient misunderstanding. Here's a thing that you can do with any work of fiction, and it's fantastic, all right? This works with movies. This works with video games. This works with manga. This works with comic books. This works with everything. I just love it. It's a game I like to play. Whenever you're, let's just use a movie as an example. Let's say you're watching a movie and there is a plot thread that involves like, oh, this person hates this person, or this person's going to build an army to attack this person, or whatever the hell. There's a misunderstanding, right? Play the game by asking yourself, could any of this have been avoided by a 5-minute conversation between these two characters actively listening to one another? You'd be amazed how many times the answer is yes. You'd be amazed of how many times, like, could the entire plot of this movie just been avoided if two characters sat down and actually had a brief, active listening conversation to one another? It's incredible. Play that game and have fun. All right? It really does ruin a lot of properties when you do that, though. But people don't even do that in real life. Oh, no, I get it. No, I understand. But, like, it is a fun game to play, especially when characters are, like, depicted as, like, super intelligent or something. And it's just like, they've thought of everything except to have a conversation, yeah. Personalities don't allow that. Yeah, I mean, like, sure. Peter Capaldi. Yeah, it's always fun when... Now, in some ways, that happens, and it's like, the answer is no. In some ways, it happens where it's like, no, no amount of conversation could have avoided this. You know, like, no amount of sitting down and not delegating, what's the word I'm thinking? Diplomacy, I guess. You know, no amount of diplomacy could have solved this plot thread, you know what I mean? Like, this is happening no matter what kind of thing, right? Like, that does come up. And whenever it does, it's like, all right, well, even if I was in this situation, doesn't matter who I said it to or talked to, doesn't matter. It's still going to occur no matter what, right? Yeah. Let's see. Peter Capaldi literally talked down a Dalek. Yeah, that's why I like Peter Capaldi as a doctor. Didn't care for him at the beginning too much, but I don't want to get off on a tangent about Doctor Who. But I did end up liking Peter Capaldi, yeah. So badly want to see Sanji get conquerors just because I know he'll say the line, love conquers all. Yeah, one of my favorite lines from Sanji is... actually during Skypiea when he's fighting Hotori, and he's just like, I declare this, the test of love, and he like brings down his foot right on top of Hotori. Yeah. Or Satori. No, it was Satori was the priest, and then his brothers were Hotori and Kotori. Yeah, that was it. Satori was the priest. Your videos always put me in a good mood. I don't have a question, but I hope you have a good day. Maybe talk about a random background character. Thank you, Arson. Thank you. Random background character. Let's see here. Random background character. I like Raideen. You know who Raideen is in One Piece? Let me know. If you know it, congratulations. Teching, do you think Magellan is related to transformation? Since he had a tooth and demon wings. I don't know. I'm assuming autocorrect did something there. I don't know the character you're referring to. I can't even, like, Not the triplets. Yeah. Satori, Hotori, Kotori. Bogard. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't make a dedicated video to Bogard. I kind of already did. I made a video about the right-hand men of, like, a lot of characters in One Piece. Like, Mass Deuce is the right-hand man to Ace. And Marco is the right-hand man to Whitebeard, right? So I also made a video about... I mentioned Bogard in that video to Garp. But I've never made a dedicated Bogard video. Oh, he's talking about the Domi Reversi. That makes more sense. No, so... I don't think that Magellan's wings are real. Because his horns were also not real. And in terms of the sharp teeth, there are so many characters that have sharp teeth. Squardo had sharp teeth. Bartolomeo has sharp teeth. Like, there's lots of characters that have it. Like, to the point where it's like they can't all be Domi reversied. I think it's just an idea that, like, fishmen, merfolk, giants, tontatas, long legs, long arms, snake necks, they can all like mingle in terms of like having children together and make hybrid races, as we've heard from Scop or Gabon. So any character that you see, like Bartolomeo has sharp teeth, it's probably just because way back in his lineage somewhere, there might have been like a shark fishman that had really sharp teeth. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I kind of view it. The reason why some characters are not quite giant size like Whitebeard or Big Mom, but are still way bigger than your normal human, is because way back, like, Whitebeard's great-great-grandfather could have been a giant, right? So Whitebeard's like 6 meters tall, which is ridiculous for a human, but not even close to being a giant. By the way, wanted to bring this up because that actually does kind of be relevant. Somebody mentioned it. I completely missed this in the chapter. When Ida was in the circus, the ringmaster sort of addressed her as standing 10 meters tall. Each steps of hers is an earthquake. Don't know if that's going to be fixed later. I think it probably will be, because Oda's actually said before the shortest you can actually be as a giant is 12 meters tall. Now, it might have just been maybe Elbaf giants. I don't know. 10 meters is very short for a giant, especially when when Loki and Harald are both like 70 meters tall. So I think like Harald should be like, 7 times larger than Ida. And I don't think you really see the size difference in the chapter. I think it's more depicted as like, Ida's definitely shorter than Loki, but I don't think it really comes across just how much bigger Harald should be. So I think, like, in a lot of ways, like, I'm not blaming Oda for this because it would be really tricky to constantly keep track of this, but because Elbaf includes lots of huge characters, keeping that, like, consistent with the size and everything is going to be difficult as an artist. Let me put it that way, right? Like, trying to keep everything, like, okay, this is how tall Loki should be relative to everything else. This is how tall Hyruden should be relative to everything else. That's going to be hard, all right? Yeah. Yeah, she should be, like, at least, like, if you said she was about half the size of Harald, or like a third, if she was like somewhere like around 25 to 35 meters tall, that would probably make more sense. But like, once again, it's one of those things that I'm not really gonna how dare Oda not get these sizes consistent. It was the same thing with Big Mom and Kaido. Like, Kaido is I think Kaido's official height, because that was something that was like discussed for a while. I don't even know, do we have an official height for Kaido? I don't think we still do. I think it's still like a mystery. No, we do. So Kaido is actually smaller than Big Mom. Kaido should be like a meter smaller than Big Mom. Kaido is 7.1 meters tall. Big Mom is, I think, 8.8. So there's like a meter and a half, almost 2 meters of difference between Big Mom and Kaido. And it doesn't really, she's 8.8. So Kaido is like almost 2 meters shorter than Big Mom, and it doesn't really come across that way a lot of times. They usually are depicted as around the same size. Yeah, it's hard for AOT. It's hard for Attack on Titan. Oh, yeah, Isayama, I'm sure, had problems with that. It's hard whenever you have these really large characters, right? Like, trying to get there, everything. Her name is not Ida. It's Ida. I'm calling her Ida. It's the same joke with Colin, all right? His name's probably not pronounced Colin, but it's Colin. Because Colin and Ida are actual, like, English names that are way easier to pronounce. Like, Colin? It's Colin. Her name's Ida. Let's keep rolling. Roll it! Ida and Colin, keep on moving. Do you think Ida might be Mosa? Yes, I think Ida is Mosa. I do. Yes, we're going to be talking about Gunko and Shamrock in a moment. I actually messaged Arthur about that earlier today. about that because I wanted to get some clarification on something. But yeah, we will discuss that in a moment. But I wanted to stick on this Ida and Mosa thing for a moment. I think it does make sense, considering that we don't know anything up with Ida yet. And hopefully she's not dead, right? Hyruden didn't mention she was dead, but if she died a long time ago, it would make sense Hyruden wouldn't have brought it up. But if Ida's still alive and living in one of the villages, then it's very possible that, everything's going to shit right now in the country and the monsters are attacking. Maybe the monsters are attacking her village right now and she's like, sorry, Loki, I gotta go. Things are going south. But then again, the way the conversation kind of went was like, Loki responded to Mosa by saying, wait a minute, is that place again? Kind of like talking about like Mosa was saying the place she was living was really dangerous or a lot of bad stuff happens there. And then Loki's like, wait a minute, is it happening again? Kind of shit like that. And Mosa's like, yeah, don't worry about it. So, like, that is a little strange. It makes, I don't know if it lines up exactly with it. Unless Ida got taken away from Elbaf. So Ida might not be on Elbaf right now. What if Ida was captured at one point and is somewhere else in the world? Is at Marijua as a slave or something like that? Right. Or the Ringmaster just messed up. Yeah, that's true, too. Because it's like, whatever. It's like, welcome to the circus. This giant is 10 meters tall. It's like, yeah, whatever. To a human, 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters. It's like, big lady, roar, Could have just messed it up, too. What are your take on the giant nobles from the alcohol village? So I don't think all of those shadowy nobles or elders from Elbaf were all from the alcohol village. I think that's like the collection of the Elbafian boomers, basically, right? Like they're the old elders that are like Jarl. Not as old as Jarl, but probably like around 300 years old, that are the heads of each of the villages that come together and be like, Harald, you must marry Estrid, for she is nobility. She is your bride. She will bear the new heir of Elbaf. Do you think Loki's friend is someone on Whole Cake? I still kind of want Mosa to not be on Elbaf. I kind of want her to be somewhere else in the world. Don't know about Whole Cake, but it's possible. I feel like it makes more sense that Mosa is in the Holy Land. Yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things that like a lot of the dots kind of like are checked on that one, and it's like, I could definitely see it. I mean, if he was making up that she is from Elbaf and the horns were fake, I mean, if he was making up that, oh yeah, because the Ringmaster was lying about her, like oh, she's from Elbaf and she has horns and they're fake costume horns and stuff like that, right? Yeah, sure. Like, I'm sure the Ringmaster wasn't like getting all of the I mean, it's the whole point. Then again, making her taller would be scarier, right? She's 100 meters tall. Like, I don't know. Do you think Hyruden's reaction to Loki's birth explains why Loki has a bad relationship? He didn't care his brother, and Loki was cold in turn. Yeah, I mean, like, he probably was, like, brought up being told that, like, your dad is Harald, but, the rest of the people are, like, treating him as, like, he's not really Harald's son, or he doesn't matter as much. And there would be some vindictiveness at Loki, absolutely, because, like, oh, that's not really my brother. He's not the son of my mother, so he's not my brother. I don't care. And he's gonna get all. He's probably also Hyruden maybe thought originally that like Loki's gonna be the prince or something. He's gonna be the one that's gonna end up ruling instead of him. I don't know. Lost to the abyss. No, they're saved. It's okay. We got it. Magic. Recovery from the abyss. Here we go. Let's see here. There you go. Emu might be yeah, Emu might be like the other Nika. Yeah, like the other sun god. Yeah, I've talked about this before. Like, there are multiple sun gods discussed in the Harley text, right? There's one that's like bringing in a Harkener of destruction, and then there's another one that brings hope and peace and liberation, and then there's another one that's just like a mischievous god of laughter. So like, there's 3 depictions of the sun god. Luffy is clearly the one of like laughter. So there could have been one at one point that was the Harkener of destruction, and that could have been Emu. I don't know how this would work, like multiple variations of the Nika devil fruit, or one of them is the actual sun god. I don't know. But yeah, it also makes more sense that Luffy, while in Gear 5th, loves to go into giant form as much, because god of the giants kind of a thing. Yeah, there we go. That clicks. I could see Emu or a God's Knight ripping off Harald's horns as a sign of domination, a warning in someone made-up story to save face. Yeah, like Harald could have lied about how he lost his horns, because that looks like a bitch and a half to remove those. You know what I mean? I'm just like, ah! You know, like rip off your horns. That looks like it would be very painful. So if they were lost another way, you could have just said like, oh yeah, no, I lost them because I ripped them out myself because I'm done with warfare. And there's like, oh, King Harald, you're such a dreamboat. I don't know. Like it could have been something like that. But you know, they got attacked or ripped out against his will. I think Loki still has his eyes. Oh, but there is one thing I wanted to bring up. I didn't bring it up in the review, but I was going to. So, why does Loki have those eyes? Like, let's talk about that. Like, is it doesn't seem to be something indicative of ancient giant blood. It could just be like a birth defect or something that his eyes are just like that. But why though? Like, why does he have those eyes? Like, is it something else going on here? Because we've never really seen characters in One Piece, I don't think, have eyes like that. Like, right? So, like, what's the exact reason for it? And I was thinking of, like, well, could there be other characters in the story that have those eyes, but we don't know? And then I'm like, what if those are Doflamingo's eyes? Because Loki and Doflamingo have, like, a similar kind of personality. Like, you could definitely see it, right? Loki's not as evil as Dofi is, but like you could see some similarities between their characters. What if that's what? Oh, the mink eyes. Yeah, I guess yes. When they go Sulong. Yeah, hold on a minute here. We'll pull that up. Actually, I did a Sulong video. Hold on. Yeah. That's probably the thing that's the most similar. When the minks go into Sulong. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, here we go. So here, well. This is Peckham's, but it's kind of like, hold on a minute. Oh, here's Carrots. Yeah, there we go. So I don't think Loki's eyes look quite like that. And, you know, so Carrots here, it's not, I feel like the sclera is going to be like pitch black for Loki. With Carrot here, the way the anime is depicting them anyway is, yeah, from magenta. It's like magenta and then pink and then red. Yeah, they're not exactly the same, but close enough, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, this is from the Sulong video I did a few years ago. Who else? I was like, because we saw Beppo's later. Yeah, what about Beppo's? Hold on, let me go check Beppo's here in a minute. Because at the time I made this video, I think it was just Peckham's and Carrots. We never saw Pedro's. Dude, what would a Pedro's Sulong have been like? That would have been sick to see. Somebody should ask Oda to draw Pedro's Sulong for him. I would have liked to see that. Yeah. All right, let me check Beppo really quick. Probably just the same. Or do you even get to see his eyes? Okay, now, all right, now wait a minute. Hold on a minute here. Beppo's Sulong. It does look like his eyes are pitch black. Now, this is all anime, though. This is anime department, like, who knows? But, like, yeah. Charlie's. Charlie's eyes are... Okay, hold on a minute. Let's see. I made a video about the Fishman Island Prophecy. Let's see. What year was that? This is what happens every time I'm making a video, and I'm like, okay, I need a picture of Charlie. What video did I talk about Charlie? The Prophecy. Luffy destroys Fishman Island. That was 2018. So, hold on a minute. Fishman Island Prophecy. Here we go. No, I mean, Charlie's eyes are not... No, they're not the same. They are pitch black in the manga. Are they? I don't think they are. Yeah, this is like the digital, like, colored one. This is like the official colored version of the manga. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they are. Yeah, no. Oh, Horty, when the steroids kicked in. Loki's on roids! No! no! Loki's on the roids. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think she just has really thick eye makeup is the case with Charlie. If you opened a bakery, what kind of pastries would I sell? I would sell scones, cinnamon scones, and muffins and croissants. The fluffiest, most butteriest croissants that you ever had in your life. Yep. That's what I would sell at my bakery. Scones! The energy steroids were from Joy Boy's era. Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, like I was thinking about that though, and I just had the idea of like, because Doflamingo's eyes are always covered, and we never saw Doflamingo's eyes. Like even at the end of Dressrosa, where I was sure there was going to be some big reveal of Doflamingo's eyes, like what they actually looked like, especially when the glasses were shattered. And I was like, okay. And then the end of the arc happens, and they just give him his eyes back, I guess, and his glasses back, and I'm just like, okay, I guess we're not finding that out. If his eyes did look like that, maybe Oda was keeping it a surprise for when Loki showed up, right? Thoughts on the age of the giants outside of Elbaf with time dilation? If there are 70 on the island, then how would they be on the outside of Elbaf? I have no idea how that would work. Clearly, the giants age at the same rate, because Dory and Broggy are still, like it's not unusual for Dory and Broggy's age to be, like, looking what they look like, you know? So, I don't know. I guess even if the giants age no matter what. I have no idea if it's time dilation in the sense of, like, the space-time continuum, like, bending around Elbaf, or it's just, like, the way maybe it only affects humans or it only affects human perception. I don't know. Do you think that hockey has a source of some kind? I mean, like, your willpower, but, like, if we're going to find out, like, the origin of hockey, like, actual origin, like, this is, like, I don't know, the first person to have hockey or something. I don't know. I wouldn't like that. I would, you know, want that to be with, like, the Devil Fruits. Like, there being a first Devil Fruit reveal, that would be fine. If you could pick to have one mystery spoiled from One Piece without ruining the story for you, what would it be? Oh, like, well, like, oh, like something I could, like, find out, let's say, right now about One Piece that wouldn't, like, affect my overall enjoyment of the story. Yeah, there's, like, a bunch of things, like, little things about the story. Like I just said one, like, what do Doflamingo's eyes look like? You know, just, like, reveal that. Like, that probably wouldn't, like, oh, my God, the story's ruined for me. But it would be like, oh, that's what they look like. It's like, all right. You know, stuff like that. Let's see. Something else that's not, like, a huge, like, plot thing. Let's see here. Thinking. At one point I might have, like, asked about, like, Shaki's backstory, but we kind of know about that now. Oh, High West. Yeah, the mountain that gets to Skypiea. I'd like to learn more about that place. Yeah, that would be cool. Now, I feel like the Thriller Bark monsters would impact the... I think that is going to play a role in the big finale of this, yeah. Yeah, the three shadows from the Florian Triangle are definitely going to spoil something for the final, like, reveal of, like, what the world looked like 3,000 years ago. So I would stay away from that stuff. Yeah. Ideas why hockey was not visible in Marineford? Well, it wasn't visible. It's not that kind of hockey that's visible. They were using the hockey of, like, the admirals at least were like, holding up the invisible, like, barrier. Same thing Sentomaru did. Why they weren't using the vulcanization, that was probably just Oda's choice not to depict it that way, or he hadn't figured it out yet. Like, it seems like Oda had ideas for different types of armament hockey, but, like, as soon as we get to, yeah, like, the characters would have been using some vulcanization, like hardening hockey during Marineford. We just didn't see it look like that, but it's implied they would have used it, yeah. How many chapters do you think Loki's flashback? I don't know. I'm going to say, so this was 1. I'm going to say 4 total. So 3 more? I don't know. Could be less than that. I don't have anything planned for 750,000 subs. Probably going to be... I've been hovering around 730s for a while now. They don't go up as much, so, like, I'm good. Like, if this is where it plateaus, it's fine. But, like, probably going to be a while till I hit 750. Yeah. What do you think about the hypothesis that the One Piece blue planet might be a Dyson Sphere due to how big it seems to be compared to how Alabasta is? See, this is a thing also of, like... like, do you take this in the idea, like, Oda mentioned, like, the Shandora River or the Sandora River, and Alabasta is, like, 40 kilometers across or 50 kilometers across. Like, that makes zero sense, you know? So, like, that's, once again, I don't think is something Oda did on purpose. I think that was just Oda messed up distances or something like that, right? So I don't think it's like, oh, you have to compare the size of Alabasta to the overall size of the planet, and this is something that Oda clearly planned from the very beginning. Like, this is intentional to, like, how big this continent is to how big the overall planet is. I don't know. Maybe he did or maybe he didn't. Yeah, when it comes to, like, look how many times Zunisha's height had to be retconned. It's like 3 or 4. It's like 3 or 4 times. Zunisha's 35 kilometers tall. Actually, Zunisha's 10 kilometers tall. Actually, 5 kilometers tall. It's like they had to keep changing it. And it's like, yeah, this is very clearly something Oda struggles with. And so I don't put too much stock into things involving sizes and scales. Yeah, but you know, but like the river was so big, but you could still see the other side of it. Like, if that river was 50 kilometers across, you're not seeing the other side of that shit, right? Like, it's just too big. He's good at drawing butts and he's good at drawing boobs, but he's not great at heights. You know, he's just like, hey, everybody has a weakness when it comes to their skill in their profession, I guess. Like, I don't know. Who is my waifu? I mean, I usually say Robin in the story. Like, she's my favorite female character, if that's what you want to know. Like, there you go. Go, Robin. Show me the Nami figurine. They're all over here. Here, there you go. Like, all the Nami figurines. And you can even see a fan of mine sent me some fan mail of the wanted poster of Robin's that is signed by her voice actress. So that's in there too. So the way the shelf goes, hold on. It's like, wrong way. I was like, there we go. Okay, so this is, okay, hold up. All right, hold on. We're just going to go this way. We're just going to go over here. Okay, so on the lowest level, we have the big figurines of, like, Odin and then a Gear 5th Luffy. Then up, we have all the dudes. So we have Jinbei there, we have Kid, we have Law, we have Zoro and Luffy and Gear 4th. And then going up, we have, these are like, let's say Okiku and Hiyori and Boa and Koala and Vivi. And then the top is just Robin and Nami. Just Robin and Nami figures. Yeah. No, I think her English VA. I'm pretty sure it was her English VA. The hole is underneath the Luffy rug that I purchased from Bartolomeo. Bartolomeo was going door to door and was threatening to burn houses down unless you bought a Luffy rug, so I had to buy one there. What is your something on, 1,000 Year Blood War Core 4 you would like to see that we didn't see in the manga? The fight with the Vizards that we're going to get, that I'm really excited for that, yeah. The Einstein-Rosen Bridge, yes. Am I going to do a video about Lego One Piece? No, but I do want to build, like, so I don't have any Lego structures right now to build. Like, there is one of Notre Dame, though, that came out because I love the architectural series of that. So I'm probably going to get that at some point and make it. But for right now, it's not Lego, but it is a model. I do have Exodia. Like, do you want to build Exodia with me every now and then? Like, maybe I'll do a stream where we just build Exodia. We could do that. Yeah. Yes! I bought that, like 6 months ago at a game shop, and it just looked cool, and I just never got around to opening it. And it was underneath all the fan mail that I opened last week, so when I opened all the fan mail, I was like, oh, that's right, I also have Exodia down here. Yeah. He obliterates. You build him, and then he obliterates you. Once he drops it, we can say obliterate. Zunisha's height changes depending on where it's walking. Yeah, that's true, I guess. But, like, the overall height is mentioned as, like, the animal actually has a height, and it's changed, like, 3 times. Like, let me actually check. Like, the wiki might actually have a record of that. Zunisha. Okay, the canonical height right now is over 5 kilometers. Not 5 kilometers exactly, just over 5 kilometers. Because I think they realize, like, okay, we cannot get a straight answer here, so let's just say over 5 kilometers has to be. It's like, okay, that is true. Length, over 2 kilometers. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. And is it mentioned the height is probably... Yeah. Oh my god. There are 5 references to his height. Look at this. The wiki has like an entire chart to Zunisha's height. I gotta show you this. Hold on. I hope Kong gets revealed to be Garp's teacher. Oh, probably. I want to see some more Kong. Yeah, you're talking about stuff that can be spoiled but not really spoiled. Give me Kong's history. I want to see that. All right. So here we go. At 5 kilometers, Zunisha is the largest character ever introduced in the series so far. Zunisha's height has been subject to multiple revisions over the course of time. Below is a table summarizing the figures given by different sources. So over 20,000 meters in One Piece Magazine Volume 4. That's the original. Over 35 kilometers in the Viva Ricard Visual Dictionary. Over 50 kilometers in the Viva Ricard Revision. Over 2 kilometers in the second revision. Over... Like, I think that's one's the... No. The height is different. Oh, I'm reading the length, not the height. Okay, so it goes 20, 35, 50, 5, 10, 5. Just like, Jesus Christ. But this is all according to plan. This is all according to plan for Oda-sensei. It turns out Zunisha has the ability to change its height. Oh my god. No, wait. Oda could play with this when we find out more about Zunisha's backstory. What if Zunisha, because Zunisha canonically has like really long legs, what if Zunisha has the ability to compress its legs to lower its height? Like, you know those tube things, you know, those tubes that you get from the carnival or something, and they're like little plastic and you stretch them out and they make that noise like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, like the stretchy tubes, you know what hold on. Carnival, county fair, stretchy tubes. Like, hold on. This is a thing. This is a canonical. Yeah, these things. Yeah, these things. Yeah, I have some of those. Yeah, these things. Exactly these things. These are Zunisha's legs. The stretchy tubes. That would make perfect sense. That's an easy way to retcon all of this, Oda. Oda, take this idea for the love of God. Take this idea and use it, and it'll be canon. It's fine. Oh, they are canon. They are canon. Zunisha's just the long-limbed elephants have the ability to do that. We still don't know when I feel like I mentioned this. I should really bring this up in a video, but like when it comes to the Vampire Berry plushies, a while ago it was mentioned they were supposed to ship out in April and May. There was the tariff situation in the United States way back at the beginning of the year for reasons, and they told me that put them on delay. They are still coming out. They are still under production, and they will be shipped out at some point. I do not know when. They don't seem to know when either. I'll keep you all updated as soon as I know anything else about the plushies. I wish they would have been out by now so I could actually have given them out as prizes for this convention I'm doing in a few weeks. I don't think it's probably going to happen, but I hope they're at least out by October because it's been like a year. All right. Straw Hats haven't found any devil fruit in their journey till now. Yeah, like, that's something that gets brought up too. Like, you know, why aren't the Straw Hats finding more devil fruits? I mean, they're really rare. They're really, really rare. That's the reason. And what else was I going to say? Like, Monet's devil fruit, the Yuki no Mi. And, you know, like, is that reincarnated on Nami's ship, you know? What Well, no, the plushies are handled by, like, so the company that handles those plushies, like the berry plushies are over here, are a company called Spring. So they handled the shirts and the first 2 waves of plushies, which came out perfectly fine. So I was like, all right, well, let's go through the same company because they shipped out the first 2 batches on time. So, like, I assumed the third time. But then there was, like, an outside situation that involves, like, politics and Trump and shit with the tariff crap. And so I don't know how that works. But, yeah, that's the reason for the delay. Maybe the first fruit reincarnated with one of the G5 Marines. Random G5 Marine guy has the power of the Yuki. Wait. We'll talk about this first. For the Dyson Sphere idea, there is other info, like the moons around the planet in O'Hara, the Harley mural showing a mechanical world and space travel, and Marco saying there are 20 million islands on to 900,000 on Earth. I don't know. I mean, like, I know what a Dyson Sphere is, right? Like, it's the idea of, like, surrounding the sun to harness all of the power of the sun at one thing. It's possible. But, like, I'd have to read more about these theories in particular. Like, I'm not really sure. I'd be okay with that if it turns out, like, the One Piece world is a Dyson Sphere. I'd be like, okay, sure. I have to read more about that shit because I don't know that much about the Dyson Sphere thing. Yeah. Where do I buy my swords from? Usually when I go to conventions, I buy some. Fans send me a lot. My mom actually got me a Watto for Christmas one year. The rest I probably just get on, like, no, I have a Roger's sword I got off on Etsy. I bought Ace off of Etsy, but a lot of them I just get off Amazon. Yeah. Dude, you live on the inside of a Dyson Sphere. Whoa. Whoa, dude, you just blew my mind, brah. Are we in the Matrix? Are we in the Matrix? Raise your hand. Do you think we live in the Matrix? Like, I don't think it changed literally anything about life, but, like, do we live in a Matrix? Nah, probably not. Probably not. Yep. Yep, we're in the Matrix. See, that's the thing about the Matrix. It's just, like, I don't feel like, okay, we're in a Matrix. All of the laws of physics and everything we know are just a computer simulation. It's like, all right, well, I mean, does my life really fundamentally change every day from that? Like, do I still wake up, eat my breakfast, make YouTube videos, drink my coffee, hang out with my friends, play D&D? Like, does that stuff still happen? Like, yes, you're just in a simulation. I'd be like, all right, well, this is probably what I would be doing in the real world anyway, unless the real world is taken over by robots, in which case, keep me in the Matrix. It's like, so that's the way I respond to it. It's just like, yeah, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. Maybe this is the dream of a dying god. Maybe you're in a coma right now. You right there, daily dose of MLG. Maybe this is all your coma fantasy right now. It's like, either way, it's like, I don't think it would really change much regardless. So, whatever. It's not the Elder Scrolls. Why did I decide to grow a beard? Because we were Elbaf. We were in Elbaf and Vikings. And so I thought, I shall grow a beard for Vikings, for Elbaf. It was also a new year. So I thought, fuck it. I'll try growing a beard. Never grew a beard my whole life. Also thinking about getting a tattoo, seriously. I know I've been saying that for years. But my one friend is a tattoo artist. And there's a friend in our D&D group that just got his first tattoo, and it looks really sick. And I know a really skilled tattoo artist anyway. So it's like, yeah, I was thinking about getting one. I was like actually sitting down the other night and really thinking, like, what would be okay for me to have on my body for, like, the rest of my life? And I would think I would be okay. Like, there wouldn't be a point where I look at the tattoo and be like, why the fuck did I get this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of something that I would probably consistently like throughout the rest of my life. That's hard to do, you know? Just get the X on my wrist for One Piece. So if I did get a One Piece tattoo, it would be something like that. It would be that, or maybe like the Kozuki moon on my ankle or something like that. I don't think I would get a tattoo of like Frankie or Robin or Luffy. Like, nothing against that. I don't personally see myself getting like a tattoo of Gear 5th Luffy on me. I've seen some really sick tattoos with that stuff. I just don't think it's for me. Do you think there's a connection between Loki and Jormungandr, the giant serpent in Norse mythology? So Jormungandr is probably going to be the red line because the giants, even just in the last chapter, Harald mentioned the great blood-soaked serpent, which is the way that Dorian Broggy referred to it as way back in Little Garden. So that is the Jormungandr parallel in One Piece. Whether or not, like, I don't think it's an actual serpent, or who knows, it's One Piece. It might actually turn out to be a real, it's like the Titans in the wall. Turns out to be an actual fucking serpent. Yeah, like Loki and Jormungandr, Loki is going to be a participant in this final war to maybe bring down the red line, so there could be a link there. But would Loki turn into the Jormungandr? I don't think so. I'm convinced Eneru saw a separate sketch of the mural, or was there a second mural on Birka, and we just didn't see it. The Arc Maxim isn't like any other ship. It looks similar to the ones in the mural. Oh, yeah, by the way, really quick with that, I was thinking the other day, that... Like, there's not going to be another arc. Like, the Maxim is still an arc. It still functions. It works. Eneru is going to show up coming back down from the moon in an arc at some point. Like, that's going to happen. It has to be Eneru's arc. There's no other, like... I mean, I guess Noah's arc, but that one was flying. Noah's arc and a flying arc were both seen in the mural. So Eneru is coming back someday, right? Yeah, like, that's happening. Whitebeard's logo on the back. As long as it... Probably not the original Whitebeard... Jolly Roger with the that particular Buddhist symbol that was taken by a certain political organization later. But the new version of Whitebeards. Yeah. There is another arc. There are 2 arcs in One Piece. Just 2. East Blue arc, Grand Line arc. 2 arcs in One Piece. That's it. We've been in the final arc of One Piece for over 1,000 chapters by now. This is a long-ass story arc, let me tell you. Let's see here. Straw Hat strength level. Okay. So in D&D terms, with level 20 being the strongest you can get, where are the Straw Hats at right now? I'm going to say they're like a good solid level 15 at least. I'm going to say at this point we're talking level, at least like Luffy, Zoro kind of characters. Like D&D terminology, they're about there. Favorite under the radar One Piece moment? I have a lot of really good, like, fun moments in the story that, like, I don't think a lot of people like to watch. Like, well, maybe not like to watch, but, like, one scene that is really powerful to me is when Doflamingo is captured and he's talking to Osuru. I really like that scene because it's like this guy, this horrible, evil son of a bitch Doflamingo that always, like, thinks of himself higher and better than everybody else is actually talking to Osuru like an equal, and that's really cool. Like, even he admits that she sees right through all of his bullshit, right? Like, even he can admit that. That's a cool scene. The scene when they arrive at New Kama Land, I thought was always like just the music in the anime is so cool. Like when Luffy, when Bon Clay wakes up in New Kama Land and Eva is doing the dance number on stage, like that's always like a fun scene to me when they're in the middle of this prison and then like this dance cues up and then Eva comes out and it's like, what the hell is going on here? Like that's a fun scene. There's a lot like that in the story, yeah. Do you think the Atom Tree is going to fall by the end of Elbaf? You know, I think the tree is going to fall at some point. I'm hesitant to say if it's going to happen at the end of the arc or by the end of the story. You know, like that would be crazy if it ends at the end of the at the end of the arc, the whole tree falls down. Holy shit. That would be wild. Yes, we could talk about that now. So, the new Tankobon of One Piece, volume 112, which I think we have the official artwork. Yeah, I think it's done now. Last week, I think it was just a sketch, but we have it now. I think it's not out officially yet. It's not out until July 4th, which is this weekend. Missed a super chat. They're all saved. Don't worry about it. All super chats are saved. We'll get through them all before the stream ends. But we have... Oh, no! It's corrupted. Give me a second. Convert to JPEG. All the JPEGs are dying. All right, here we go. Whoa. Nope. Here we go. All right. So in volume 112 of One Piece, which I love the cover of this, we have Luffy here in the center, and then the new giant warrior pirates, Rhodes looking creepy, but then we have Saul and Robin down here. That's really nice. So it is mentioned that Gunko, they change Gunko's introduction box in the manga. So in the chapter release, it was just Gunko, user of the Arrow no Mi. In the official, it is Gunko Manmeyer. So she is actually a member of the Manmeyer family, or I guess maybe adopted by the Manmeyer family. In addition to that, the Celestial Dragons have a naming scheme. In the English version, it's Saint. So Saint Charlos, Saint Roswald, Saint Mjolsgard, right? So in Japanese, it works a little differently. Charlos is Charlos Sei. Sei. S-E-I. Charlos Sei. And his sister, Shaurya, is Shaurya Gu. So it's Sei and Gu, which I think is like an honorific depending on the gender, right? So women would have Gu and men would have Sei. And in English, it's just like, you know, it doesn't matter the gender. It's like saint no matter what. So whereas in the official, she doesn't have Saint Gunko, it is changed in the Tankobon as Saint Gunko Manmeyer or Gunko Gu. Or Gunko Gu, member of Manmeyer family. Something like that in the official. I have to wait to see how it actually comes out and what it looks like. But, like, that's going to be interesting to discuss. That will be a video discussing that. And probably talking about, like, the Manmeyer family, like, in general. Classic Oda retcon. Yeah, it is. It 100% is. But it makes more sense. Yeah. No, that is a retcon, which is not the first time we've had retcons in One Piece. I should do a video, because sometimes when that stuff happens, people are shocked. Like, a retcon in my One Piece? It's like, it's happened before a lot. I mentioned the Mr. 3 one earlier. There was Katakuri's Devil Fruit. Like, I need to sit down and actually think about not just something that was like an art mistake that was added or corrected later. Like, Luffy had a sword in one chapter, but in the next he has an axe, and then he has a sword again. Not talking about that, but like an actual retcon, as in Oda wrote something down like Katakuri has a Logia, and then decided later, wait a minute, no, he has a special paramecia instead. That is a retcon, which I don't have a problem with utilizing retcons, especially in a story like this. If they are made like every chapter, there's a fucking retcon. Like, all right, there's a problem. But like, yeah, they're gonna pop up every now and then. And this makes sense, all right? Yeah, it makes sense. Kobe's being a rear admiral. Yeah, Kobe being a rear admiral. That was it. That wasn't something in the translation. That wasn't like the Viz messed it up or something. No, that was literally Kobe was mentioned erroneously to be a rear admiral at one point. In fact, fuck it. I'm writing these down. All right. Mr. 3 floating on water. Katakuri's Devil Fruit. Gunko's name. Kobe's rank. All right, what else? He forgot Kid's Fruit. So that I do not consider a retcon. The story with Kid's Devil Fruit is that somebody asked him, a lot of people were asking in the SBS, hey, Oda. Oh, that was just my calendar's going off. What is the name of Kid's Devil Fruit? And Oda just said, like, oh, I thought I revealed that already. No, you didn't. Oh, I thought I did. It's the Jiki no Mi. I don't consider that a retcon. I just consider that like Oda assumed he put it in the story somewhere and he just didn't, and he just forgot. And it's just like, okay, it's not like he named... Now, this would be a retcon if he named it one thing and then changed the name of the Devil Fruit later. Which brings me to Fujitora. Fujitora's justice aspect, like Akainu is thorough justice and Kuzan's is lazy justice. I believe Fujitora has two, which might not be a retcon because it's possible, I guess, for you to have two kinds of justice at once. I think one of them is blind justice, but I think there's another one that is humane justice. Humane justice. I could have sworn there was one that was mentioned to be blind justice or something else at one point. There's humane justice, and then there's another one. I could have sworn he had two. That might just be a joke, though, because there's so many people that want him to just have blind justice because he's blind. I might be misremembering that. That one might be just like, you know, fan theories or something. But I could have sworn he was given one. No, fuck. It wasn't Fujitora. It was Aramaki. Aramaki was given two. Yes. Hold on. I think Aramaki was given two. Yes. He was given determined justice, but I think there was another one. Thorough justice. No, that's Akainu's. I could have sworn there were two. So it's kind of, there's like an overarching, all right. Okay. Overall, there are two categories of justice in One Piece. There is absolute justice, and there is moral justice. All right? Absolute and moral. However, there are subcategories under each category. So to say that Akainu follows absolute justice is 100% true. He does follow absolute justice. However, his real motto is thorough justice, which is a subcategory of absolute. So technically speaking, they all have two. They have thorough, or they have absolute or moral, and then they have another category under that. All right? But I could have sworn there was a mix-up in one of their... It might have just been different translations. Like Fujitora's was mentioned to be humane justice, but then virtuous justice in the Viz. So it's two, but that's just a translation. That's not a retcon. All right. Maybe not exactly. Yeah. What were the Gods Knights doing during Fisher Tiger's raid? I don't think that's a retcon. I think it's just like, because we don't know yet. Like, I'm not going to put something in the retcon thing. If I do a retcon video, I'm not going to put it in there if it's just like something that hasn't been revealed yet. You know what I mean? Like something that has been confirmed straight up to be a retcon, like the Mr. 3 thing. That's what it is, right? Okay. This might be explained later, like why weren't the Gods Knights fighting the revolutionaries at Reverie? Why weren't the Gods Knights showing up when Kuma attacked? Why weren't the Gods Knights doing anything when Fisher Tiger burned the city down? Like that all might be explained. Reiju having a devil fruit. Okay. That was something that was mentioned, I think, in a magazine or something. I don't know if that was an official statement from Oda. Like a retcon would have been Reiju has the, this mythical butterfly, or not mythical butterfly, but like poison butterfly zone. And then later Oda says, oh wait, she doesn't actually have a devil fruit. She just has the raid suit. I think Reiju having a devil fruit was erroneously printed in a magazine, and in that regard, I do not know if Oda like specifically wrote that for the magazine. Hold on. Reiju is included as a list of unknown devil fruit user in the first volume of the One Piece magazine. However, Viva Card data books later confirmed Reiju's poison powers are part of her genetic enhancements. Okay, so that's what I thought. So yeah, the first issue of the One Piece magazine, Oda might not have had anything to do with that. I don't know one way or the other. I might mention that, so I'll put like an absolutely this is a retcon category, and then I'll put like a maybe category. Katakuri. I'll take out Fujitora too, because I'm not really sure. Yeah, Katakuri's definitely is going in there. Katakuri's fruit. Yeah, that's 100% a retcon. So Reiju, devil fruit. That could be in the maybe category, because maybe Oda provided some information for the magazine that they printed, but we don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Caesar's age. Yep, Caesar's age is a retcon. He was originally stated to be 40. He's actually 55. Yeah. Now, I'm going to be careful. Zunisha as well, because that's what kind of kicked this all off, was Zunisha's Zunisha's height. But I'm probably going to not include every single solitary example of like a height that was changed, just because like, okay, yeah, lots of characters' heights change in the story. That happens a lot. Stuff like heights and stuff. Ages, not so much, but occasionally they do. The Straw Hat's reputation, how the world perceives them through Morgan's newspaper. Ooh, that would be a fun video. Yeah. Gastino is 40. Yeah, Gangster Gastino is 40. Caesar is 55, though. Yeah. The Giants' age ratio, I can bring that up. Yeah, like half an age or a third of the age. That's one. Now that I have, that's SBS 19 that was in. Yeah. Let's go through some super chats, though, because I know I skipped over a few when I was doing the Retcon discussion. All right, let's see here. Dyson Sphere idea. With the tree height and his ability to grow in size relative to damage, what if a Rouge drops down into Elbaf to save the day to fill a supernova quota? Honestly, if that happens, I'm 100% cool with it. I don't even care if a Rouge has anything to do with fucking giants or anything in this arc. If a Rouge just shows up and be like, I am here now, retribution, like, fine, good, get him in the story, don't care. Gunko is a man-meyer. That's going to be covered. Probably going to, I mean, I'll mention it in the SBS video. That'll be coming out this week, but also I'll probably make a dedicated video to that as well. I hope Kong is relevant. Yeah, he absolutely will be. Let's see. I made a video about Kong years ago. Where do you think is Roger's corpse? That's another discussion. Where I've mentioned that a few times. Never made a dedicated video on it because I don't think there's enough to go on. But, like, what did the government do with Roger's body? Because, like, that feels like something they would put up, like, at the entrance to the Grand Line or at, like, the entrance of Marineford. Like, this is Roger, king of the pirates. Yeah. Answered these ones. Time dilation theory. Okay, yeah, so it was after this. All right. After Emu, the Straw Hats get a hockey reality check. I think they need to go and figure out how to learn it. Yeah, I think Usopp needs to work on the observation. Nami needs to work on the observation. Brooke needs to get some armament. Let's do it. Let's do a hockey training arc. Absolutely, by Scopper Gibbon. Think there's a connection between Loki and the Jormungandr? Answered that one. Eneru coming back. Answered that one. I think there could have been more murals up on the moon, too. So I think you're onto something there, absolutely. What if the Emu room is dead center of the tree and that area is just straight up immortal? Oh, could be. Like, yeah, if the Elbaf tree is like time dilating, what if the Eve tree is also dilating? And so therefore, like, you know, Marie-Joie is like right under or right on top of the mother tree. So it's possible that there could be something going on up there where like time slows down and that could explain Emu's immortality. Tier list, number of retcons. Probably not a tier list, but like a number of, we'll talk about like retcons in a video. Also this week, since we are at the end of June and it's also break week, I'm probably going to do another tournament. I'm going to do another One Piece tournament. This will be the fifth one. None of the Straw Hats are going to be part of this. We went through all the Straw Hats already. So we're going to just have more characters yet. I don't think Law's been in one of these yet. I don't think Kid has been in one of these yet. So now we don't have any slots for the Straw Hats. So we're going to see some other characters from One Piece in this one. This is going to be a fun one, I think. Let's say you can't talk about anime or manga for 2 years. What Western content would you cover? No, Last Airbender, you silly Billy. Okay, since you said silly Billy, I'll talk about Venture Brothers. I'll go through every episode of the Venture Brothers, and I'll talk about that. Probably wouldn't get very many views, but I love the Venture Brothers. You silly Billy. What were the Gods Knights doing during Fisher Tiger's raid? I talked about that one. Straw Hat's reputation. That could be a video. Absolutely. Fun stream video idea could be each Straw Hat's Shikai and Bankai. There is a, I think it's not like D Not So Good Artist or something. There's a channel, let me just double check to make sure, that does some really good artwork of drawing like the Straw Hats as the Espada or the Straw Hats as the Akatsuki from Naruto. I think it's D Not So Good Artist or something, but yep, that's exactly their channel name. Yep. Hold on, I'll just show you what the channel like art looks like, and then you can go subscribe to them. I'm subscribed to them. Pretty cool. Pretty cool channel. So like right here. D Not So Good Artist. Go check them out. They got 189,000 subscribers and do some really good artwork. There's also some sexiness. Yes, there is also some sexiness. I mean, drawing Nami as an Espada, like, obviously there's going to be some boobs. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. But, yeah, it's like Nami is Haribel or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, or Nelliel or something. There's going to be boobs, right? But it's really cool. They also draw, like, what if the Akatsuki were the Straw Hats or something? Really good art. Really good art. Yeah. Fictional dad tiers, Hohenheim or Dragon, Better Paw. That would be a fun one. Yeah, everyone wants me to do the dad tier list. I'll get around to it at some point. Vivi being a member of the Will of D made me wonder if there's any other hidden D clan members. I always felt like Odin has the Will of D. Like, it's just that middle initials in Wano don't really exist. They don't really give people middle initials, but he does have the Will of D. Yeah. We need a Nami happiness punch video. The strongest technique in the story. Yes, the ultimate. I should just do a video on the strongest attacks in the story and include the happiness punch on there. Yeah. Time dilation doesn't make much sense. No, he really couldn't, because even at the rate the time dilation works, Roger had less than a year to live. So he couldn't just go to Elbaf and wait it out. At least not at Elbaf, because he was going to be dead in less than a year, and that's not how fast time moves. So he would have still died. Is Pell not dying considered a retcon? I hesitate to say that's a retcon. I hesitate to say it. Because he flies up with the bomb, we see a big explosion, we don't see a body, we don't see Pell's head fly off, we don't see the falcon fruit reincarnate on a branch somewhere in Alabasta to confirm his death, and then he shows up later. It's like, oh, did he die or did he survive? And it's like, yeah, no. So I hesitate to say that's a retcon. I could put it in the maybe category. Maybe. Start reading the Stormlight Archive. Yeah, I'm on like, not chapter, I'm on like page 150 of Way of Kings. So I'm getting there. Based on D's cartoon characters, Bleach captains, imagine Mandark saying, Bankai. Ah ha ha, ah ha ha ha, Bankai. Yeah, kind of like the Orochi voice a little bit there. The Orochi voice was basically Mandark. I am Lord Orochi. I am Mandark. No. Pell not dying, the most disappointing thing in the series. Oh, God, no. What is the most disappointing thing in One Piece that I saw and I was kind of like, ugh. All right. Okay. I do think about it every now and then as, like, I am kind of disappointed that, like, Luffy has the prophecy devil fruit. It was the secret god devil fruit. I really liked it more when Luffy just had this really crappy devil fruit that he had to work to get. And he did. He did work to get it stronger. But, like, I really like that idea that, like, it was just a devil fruit nobody gave a shit about. And he had to work to get it strong, and then it was revealed, oh, by the way, it's actually a super secret powerful devil fruit of a fucking god. And it's like, all right, I like Gear 5th. I like all the wackiness that you can do. But, like, that one is like, it does take away something there, I think, that, like, I viewed Luffy's character differently than when it was revealed that he had that. Because the chosen one trope is something like, now granted, I think Oda did it well, where it's not like Luffy's personality changes, like he's like, I am actually Joy Boy now. It's like, no, he's like, I am still Luffy, I am still me, which is good. That's good that he did that, but like, I think it would have been fine to not give him the big reveal that he had the Sun God fruit. Yeah. You probably could have done it a little differently. But, yeah, that's something that... Now, that is disappointing to me in the sense that, like, that's a major part of the story. Pell not dying, that's not a big part of the story. Pound not dying, not a big part of the story. That's more of, like, side stuff, you know? But, like, Gear 5th is... And the Nika fruit, that's a big deal, you know what I mean? That's a huge plot-centered thing. Yeah. Yeah, it works in the way that Luffy doesn't realize he's a god and he's just jumping around having a good time. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Oda's done it in a way that's better than I think a lot of other works of fiction, but I still feel like something was taken away from that, because I used to always read One Piece, I'm like, man, you know what? Luffy's devil fruit isn't the greatest, it's not the strongest, it's not special in any way, but he made it work, and he's so strong, and he's so skilled with it. And then you find out what it really is, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can't say that anymore. Carrot not joining made me furious. Yeah, I don't really get upset over that. Like the Straw Hats, like not like certain like potential Straw Hats not joining. I didn't get really that upset over like Carrot not joining or Yamato not joining. If Loki doesn't join, I'm not going to be like, oh no, I'm disappointed. I'm just going to be like, all right, yeah, Loki didn't join. I try to keep my expectations low for getting new Straw Hats because I feel like if every arc I get really invested in a Straw Hat joining, like, oh my God, Yamato's going to join, let's go, and then it doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, I'm like disappointed now. So I keep my expectations super low for that. Because otherwise, I'm setting myself up for massive disappointment every single story arc. Stussy's gonna join. Aw. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yamato did say he wanted to join, but I still kept it low on the like, yeah, but... Being hit by a balloon doesn't hurt, but is the fist of a giant, it hurts. Big fist hurt more. Big fist. You know? The Davy back would be important. Yeah, I'm not upset about, like, Foxy was annoying, but I'm not going to say, like, you know, Foxy existing is the most disappointing thing. Like, I could say it as a joke. But yeah. I mean, Yamato's pilgrimage is probably ending soon, considering Yamato's already at Ringo, probably going to go back to the Flower Capital, take a big picture of everybody. Here are my new scabbards, Ulti in page 1. Also, Sasaki shows up. I don't know. Do video with Loki and Lola. Why did she leave? So, actually, this brings up new context for Loki and Lola, really. Like, if Loki was abandoned by his mother in that way, in a way that we haven't really ever seen in One Piece before, of a mother just straight up abandoning her child. People have brought up Baby 5, and I'm going to be making a video about this probably tomorrow, talking about, like, Loki's past and how it's different from all the other flashbacks and everything. But to suffice to say that Loki literally grew up his entire life being rejected by, like, everybody. Then he maybe, you know, sees Lola, and the arranged marriage with Lola, like, Lola didn't want to get married. It wasn't her choice. But then Loki was like, okay, I kind of like her. And then, you know, he was rejected again. And it's just like, aw. You know, it's not Lola's fault. You know, Lola didn't want to be, like, her marriage arranged for her. So she left and went off on her own. You know, she has the right to do that, of course. But Loki, it's just, for him, it's just like, add a like 150th rejection out of all of them. You know what I mean? Like, just keep piling them on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like Yamato's cover story. I don't think it's that bad. It's not one of the most exciting, but, like, it's fine. Probably not going to... And no, I'm not going to Anime Expo this year. No. Maybe Loki just likes his stick. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. Don't know what Loki's type's going to turn out to be. How long are we going? Probably like another 10 minutes or so. We'll call it for this one. Yeah, I'm streaming a little bit later in the day than I normally do. Go eat some dinner after this. It's not important. Oh, yeah. So I mentioned in the review that, like, the elders of Elbaf, like, they were, like, the shadowy, evil elders. I'm like, yeah, it probably doesn't matter too much of how they look. But Oda shadowed them exactly because they represent the law, so he didn't humanize them. Yeah, that could be the reason. I mean, like, the significance of them being silhouetted in terms of, like, Oda drawing them that way. I'm not saying, like, Oda was lazy and just didn't feel like designing them. I mean that, like, in the way of, like, yes, they express authority. And it's like, yeah, you're just going to keep them as, like, the shadowy, evil people in the background that are forcing Harold to marry someone he doesn't. You know, that's the kind of idea, right? But yeah, in terms of, like, their actual physical appearance, it doesn't matter. What if Eiichiro Oda made a fan character canon? Well, he kind of already did do that. like a contest as a reward. Who would you want to join who would you make to join the Straw Hats? Well, Oda would never do a contest to design your own Straw Hat and the winner gets to join the Straw Hats. I don't think Oda's ever going to do that. But Oda has Gion and Chaton, the two vice admirals, Brown Pig and Pink Rabbit. They were designed by, like, I think people in the SBS, and he made them into canon characters that actually show up a fair amount in the story. Why didn't the elders appear in the Elbaf flashback with Big Mom? I mean, they technically did. Jarl and Yorl were elders. So, yeah. Four gods equal 4 ancient weapons. Loki is one. He is the ancient weapon. His guns are the ancient weapon. Gadoosh! What's for dinner? I went out after I left the water park this morning. I got Thai food because there was a Thai restaurant like pretty close to it. So I got some Thai food. I had a little bit of curry and some duck. So I'll probably just eat the rest of that because it's really good Thai food. There is a break this week, yes. There is a break. Oh, you know what we could do, since we're on the stream anyway? Because we are probably going to do a tournament this year. This year. We're going to do several tournaments this year. I am going to... Who was the one from the last tournament that's getting carried over into the new one? I can't remember who it was. It was somebody that was voted for by the fans. But I should also rule for another character for the sake of the thumbnail. Because that's the thing about making the tournament, is like I have to put a thumbnail up before the tournament, but we roll for the characters during the tournament. So let's see here. Was it Panda Man? Oh, was it Panda Man? I can't remember. It definitely was one, so I'll roll for one of them. Can do that. Yeah. Randomthingpicker.com. Yeah, there we go. I don't think it was Panda Man, because I remember we voted, and I don't think Panda Man won. Grand Tournament 4. There we go. Okay. I'll go back and watch it. Should I put Loki on here? Do we know enough about Loki to add him to the tournament? I think Gunko's already on here. Pretty sure. Excuse me. Killingham was last time. Killingham did really good last time. Any other manga you're reading currently? Oh, there was a manga I started reading recently. Well, I think I started reading it, then I stopped after a while. But I still like it. I just can't remember what the fuck it was now. What was it? I'm blanking on it. Nah, we don't even know what his fruit is. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, hold on a minute. Let me... search for... this. Okay, so, let's do the random thing. Okay, here we go. Nah, it wasn't Dandadan, it was something else. Add source, here we go. All right, so. I'm just going to roll for a character here. Random One Piece character for the tournament. Just one of them, just so I have some character for the thumbnail. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. We got a combo. We have Doc Q and Stronger the Horse in the next tourney. In the next tournament. Yeah, I don't think Carrot's ever been in a tournament yet. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah. We don't know a lot about Doc Q's abilities, but we know enough that I think we could put him in there. Yeah. Stronger wins any combat-based challenges. Yes, he does. He does. Has Chimney ever been in the tournament? I don't think Chimney's on the list. No. Okay, Whoop Slap. Whoop Slap, if he's on the list, but if he's in the tournament, we could pretty much just declare him the winner right away. So anyway, yeah, there's Doc Q and Stronger, and then there was another person that was from the last one that I'll use as a thumbnail. So those will be the thumbnail will be Doc Q and this other person, I guess. I don't know. Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't revolve around a tower full of dogs. No, it doesn't. Oh, what was it? It's been a few weeks since I've read a chapter. I know it's something. I just can't remember what it was for some fucking reason. Was it something I bought it? Was it something I bought at Barnes & Noble? Did I read it like at the convention I was at? Oh man, I'm blanking on memory really bad right now. Ugh. Yeah, Akane Banashi. I'm still reading Akane Banashi. Hold on, let me go look at Viz really quick. Please include sources in the retcon video. Oh yeah, I will. I definitely will. It might have been something from Weekly Shonen Jump. That's what I'm looking at now. Oh, it was the Exorcist thing. Yeah, that's what it fucking was. It was the Exorcist thing, and then there was also what's it called? Something Beat? Not Skip Beat. Skip Beat's old. This was new. It was the Exorcist one was Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi. That was it. And then there was also, I know what the icon of it looks like. It's just there might not have been a chapter in a while, but I was reading it like recently, like semi-recently. Beat and Motion, that was it. Okay, so I'm reading those, kind of. Haven't read them in a few weeks, but yes, I was reading those for a little minute, for a hot minute. Yeah. Beat and Motion, yes. Which I like Beat and Motion. Beat and Motion is a nice little story. Yeah. Okay, there we go. The weather is, we just got done with a huge fucking heat wave last week. Like, it was bad. Like, it was, the weather was like 90 to 100 degrees. Like, it got over 100 degrees like 2 days in a row, and that was pretty miserable. Oh, I made ice cream. Oh, do you want to see something cool? This is my first time ever making ice cream, so I wanted to show something here. Let me, I think I have to send this, like, okay. Yeah, let me do this. I mean, like, email the pictures of the ice cream that I made. All right. All right, hold on a sec here. And then let me grab over here. Uh-huh. And you guys can be the judge of this. How well I did here. Chocolate. It wasn't chocolate. I also don't have an ice cream maker. So there is a way to make ice cream without an ice cream maker. But, like, okay. So have you ever watched Apothecary Diaries? So I just finished Apothecary Diaries. Really enjoyed it. So there's the ice cream from Apothecary Diaries in Season 2. And then I made this. If I can flip it. Hold on. There we go. Yes. And that was my first attempt at doing it. I think it turned out all right. It tasted really good. It was actually really delicious. Yeah. It was dates and apricots and peaches I had to cut up. And then walnuts on there. Yeah, it was very good. It was very tasty. Yeah, it was apricots. Yeah. So that's what I did this week. Because it was just so fucking hot out. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try to make ice cream. And I was watching Apothecary Diaries, so I figured I'll try to make that ice cream. Yeah. Yeah, the effort, it really wasn't that hard to make it. It's just you have to prep it and then put it in the freezer for like 6 to 8 hours. And I took it out at the 6-hour point, and it was still kind of a little bit, like the top part was like frozen, but like there were certain parts in the center that were still kind of like goopy. So probably like wait 7 or 8 hours for it to freeze completely. But it's still fine. And I still have like a whole like Tupperware container full of it. Yeah. But it was really good. It was really good ice cream, yeah. Yeah, I'll try to make coffee ice cream next time. I also made tempura for the first time last week. I made tempura shrimp. They were really delicious. Teching Cooking Channel. Call it Tech Cooking. Tech Cooking. Probably not, but like, yeah. A cooking channel would require like a lot of stuff. Like I'd have to set up like cameras in my kitchen in like certain ways to see my stove. And like, I guess it's possible. I'd just like multiple angles and stuff like the way Josh Weissman does his. But he has like a whole crew helping him out. It would just be me. Yeah. But I love cooking. It's fun. Nah, just one camera. Well, if I have one camera, you're not going to be able to see everything. You're not going to see me cooking the food and presenting the food because, like, yeah, I don't have a kitchen that's conducive to, like, you know how, like, on Hell's Kitchen, of course, their kitchens are set up in a way that, like, cameras can, like, look from one side of the stove to the other. So, like, that's the whole point of that is a setup. Yeah, I don't have that. But it could be fun. Yeah, for sure. I can also make some stuff in the Sanji cookbook. But yeah, speaking of that, I'm actually getting really hungry now talking about this. So I'm probably going to, it's about an hour and a half. So I think I'm going to call it here. Just go through the super chats one more time. Let's see. Thank you, Nick, for the 200 Rs. I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you for like the around $10 to $20 because that's the color coded. I don't think Oda would make a character like contest like that. I would say maybe like a member of the long arm tribe or the long leg tribe or like the snake neck tribe joining the crew would be fun. That would probably be interesting. Let's see, I answered, I think, a lot of these. He was always wacky and did whatever he wanted. Yeah, sure, once again. But like, that was fine. But you didn't need to introduce it like, oh, he's really silly and wacky, so he's the god of being silly and wacky. It's like, it could have been, I think, fine without that. Do a video on Loki and Lola. So I'm going to wait until we learn a little bit more about exactly how that even went down, because we don't know a lot about that. Like, Lola didn't mention Loki, and Loki hasn't really gone into talking about it. So I'm going to wait until a little bit more until we learn about that. Will you be open to taking pictures at Techo? Oh, yeah. So, like, this is something that they meant. Well, let me go through these really quick and see if I missed anything, and then I'll mention something. I think I got, the happiness punch was the last one I did, the last batch. So I think I answered all of these. Yeah, I got all these. Okay. Prime Whitebeard versus 4th Raikage. Who would win? Yeah, like, they're both humans in the sense that they can die. So it's not like they're invincible. I feel like the Raikage would just completely outspeed Whitebeard in every single way. That would be a crazy fight. I'm leaning on the Raikage right now, honestly, because the speed difference is huge. And each attack is going to hit like a truck. You know, even for Whitebeard, I mean, like, taking a lot of those attacks, like, that's going to be a lot. Does the Raikage have 2 arms? Does A have 2 arms? I'd like to Oda explain. That would break the story, the recipes from Kamabaka. Oh, yeah. We've only seen, like, 2 of those so far. I would really like to know, like, a whole cookbook about those. That would be fun. But no, yeah, I was going to say about Techo really quick. So it's funny. They messaged me and they were like, hey, you're going to be a guest at Techo. And I was like, yeah, I'm a guest. And because like they were like nice enough to invite me. And they're like, great. Send us a like list of like your description, but also like how much you charge for like autographs and pictures and things. Because if you go on their website, it's like everybody's like, oh, this is the autograph and stuff, which is nice that they post that so you know how much it is for a particular autograph. But I'm just like, I don't, that's not relevant to me. I don't do that. I just like take pictures and autograph whatever you want me to autograph. If you've ever been to one of my panels, it's just, I do the panel and then everybody just comes up afterwards and hopefully I'll have friends to sort of like, okay, like, hand the camera off and like, hey, take a picture of us. And like, you want me to sign this? Like, okay. And then I just do that. Like and then I hand out candy. Like that's usually how it goes. But yeah, I'm not going to charge for autographs and shit. Like, yeah, no, I'm not important enough for that. And it's like, no, I'm just like, if you came out to see me, I'll autograph whatever you want me to autograph. Yeah. The power of Argentinian peso. Oh, that's what it is. Argentina. I've given you $1 in total. Oh, that's the exchange rate. Okay. How much would you charge on Cameo? I don't know. I don't do Cameo. Yeah. I give out candy. Yeah, if you ever come to a convention, I always have a giant bowl of usually Starbursts or Jolly Ranchers or something. Yeah. Yeah, we do that. That's always fun. And then we're doing a trivia contest at Techo this year, so I have some clipboards that you could just keep, but also I have prizes. So the consolation prize for everybody is just you get a clipboard. But then and then the sheet as well, like the trivia sheet. But then also I have prizes over here that I've ordered, and we're gonna have some prizes. I'm also gonna buy stuff at the con itself. Like last year, we were shopping around before the panel, and I went up to there was actually a guy selling One Piece merch that was a fan of my channel, and I was talking to him for a bit, and I bought this like big figurine of Zoro as like the grand prize of the trivia panel. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Ever heard of the movie Blind Fury? It's Fujitora. I've never heard of Blind Fury. So, yeah. But, yeah, come on out to Techo. I'll be making more videos on it as we get closer to it. It's July 17th to the 20th. I'll be there. My panels are going to be on the 19th and the 20th. 19th will be for question and answer. 20th will be for, question and answer. And then, the 20th will be for trivia. Rukia is my favorite character in Bleach, but Robin's my favorite character in One Piece. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that like charge a lot of money for their autographs. I just can't do that. Like, I'm not going to charge, like, give me $20 to sign your like badge or something. Like, no, just here, take it. Like, I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm just a dude. All right. You want me to sign something? I'm honored that you wanted me to sign something. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, come on down. All right. Shanks is the user of Rox's saber. Ooh. That's where Shanks got the saber. Ooh, crazy. Zoro Odin parallel, maybe. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to get going because I'm getting kind of hungry, and all this talk about food has made me hungrier. So I'm going to go get some of that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tomorrow probably going to be a video. No break. I mean, there is a break this week. Oh, actually, I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. Yeah, probably a video tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not good with scheduling. I think we all know that at this point. There'll be a video at some point, and then there'll also be a live stream at some point. Wednesday will be Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch, and then there's also a channel that Briggs started with me and him playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's literally just called Teching and Briggs Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Teching and Briggs Play Card Games or something like that. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and see you back here next time. Later, everybody. Teching, signing out. Boop, 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 boop. All right.